This game is called Grand Theft Auto, but how much Grand Theft Auto is actually inside GTA 5? For this very important question, I started a new game to find out the exact number. And to be honest, this number turned out to be, well, unexpected. Let's skip the part of the prologue, where we are finally free and go to the car. Here, it's not a Grand Theft Auto, because we don't steal the car, we just sit in it. So we tried to get away from the cops, but my driver got shot in the head, so Michael had to grab the wheel. Oh! You may be wondering why the counter went up. Well, let's quickly dive deeper into the GTA law. But what actually counts as grand theft? Let's start with grand. In California, where GTA 5 takes place, grand simply means valuable. If something is worth more than $950, it is considered a grand. If it's under $950, it's called petty instead. Imagine the game was called Petty Theft Auto. That would sound really weird. And to be honest, I don't need to explain theft to you. I hope you're smart enough for this. And now comes the auto part. Auto is just a motorized vehicle, and if you only drive it just a few inches, then it's considered Grand Theft Auto. Well, now that's done, you may be wondering. But Michael didn't steal the car from the guy. And you're kinda right, because he got shot on the driveway. But looking at Michael's earlier sentence,
the kid might have bailed! This wasn't in the job description!
It was just a local of North Yankton who probably didn't have an agreement with Michael about anything, meaning when Michael went onto the driver's seat, he committed a grand theft auto. But our new car didn't last that long because Thomas the Tank Engine saw our theft and wanted to bring justice to the system. Then Michael and Brad got shot, and Trevor said,
I'm gonna leave you, Mikey!
But he did leave Michael, and now let's look at each mission. I finally unlocked Franklin, and I immediately knew he was going to do some numbers on our counter. And not even 10 seconds later, I could already choose a car. And since these are not our cars, and we don't have the right to actually repossess them, this became number 2 on our journey. I was following the mission as usual, hit the aliens, get in front of Lamar, and then suddenly my game crashed. I had no save file, which meant I had to start everything from scratch. This time, I picked the red car, and before bringing it back to Simeon, I may have turned this from grand theft into petty crime, because after the way I drove, this car was completely useless. When I got back to Simeon, Jimmy was being low-key racist.
Who you calling a n***? No, I'm not calling nobody a n***. Wait, what the f***?
I drove back in my own car and parked it in the garage. And that's when Lamar decided to roast my yee-yee ass haircut.
Yee-yee ass haircut.
What?
After that, I went to bed and got some sleep. Then Simeon called me, but before heading out, I went to sleep again. Now it was time for another repossession, and after becoming Employee of the Month, I got in my car and drove to the location. I jumped over the fence, knocked out a random guy, and then the Vagos pulled up. Lamar got a little angry and suddenly a shootout broke out. Now, with thousands of hours in this game, I went through the fight real quick. And since I didn't feel like chasing the guy on the motorcycle, I just shot him down and took the bike. Because yes, Grand Theft Auto also counts for a motorcycle. It's a motorized vehicle, just like I explained earlier. Then Lamar just stopped caring, kept the motorcycle for himself, and Simeon got left empty-handed. Basically, a scammer got scammed. Now it was time for the mission complications. Franklin can take one of the 2 cars Simeon told him about. Completely legal for once. Then I headed straight to that big house. Arriving there, I needed a sneaky way inside. So I jumped over the fence, knocked out the gardener, climbed through the window, and slowly went down the stairs. And yet again, I had committed Grand Theft Auto. Now, we are at number 4. So I drove back to return the car to Simeon. But of course, nothing is ever that easy. Michael suddenly pulled out a gun, and just like that, I became the driver and Michael turned into the passenger princess. He immediately gave me another task, and this passenger princess wanted me to drive in fast.
Drive into it. Right through the f***ing window. And fast.
So I did exactly what he asked. I went in slow, and somehow the scene still got hard triggered. Well, after a quick beatdown of Simeon.
Bud, your negative energy is seriously bringing...
Ah yes, that's the right person. After our little argument, I switched back to Franklin. I gave Michael a punch, stole that car again, and then ran him over just to drive back home. Amanda and Tracy were arguing like crazy.
Why the f not? He is not staying the night. He's a bum. I don't.
And then, suddenly, Jimmy was in trouble. So Michael just said,
Let's take Amanda's car.
so everything is fine here. On the drive, we get some real conversations between Franklin and Michael. Low-key, like a father-son moment. Then Michael suddenly spots something familiar.
There it is. That's my boat.
I drove close to the boat, and Franklin kind of handled the whole situation from there. Jimmy then dropped into Michael's car.
The f is wrong with you, kid?
So yeah, the mission is a GTA banger, but from a Grand Theft Auto perspective, nothing special happened here. Next up was the mission Chop, and honestly, this feels like a mission where a Grand Theft Auto has to happen. So let's see. After the cutscene, where Lamar is being extremely weird around Franklin's
Don't be
aunt,
talking shit about your auntie, man. She cool as a motherfucker, man. Come on.
we walk over to the van, and I decided to mess with Lamar. And then we head out. When we arrive, Lamar looks around and casually says,
Ain't no fun if the gangsters can't have none.
Man, you, Mark.
which already tells you this is not going to end well. Then I ran to the van again, and somehow we are chasing a guy in Lamar's van. Franklin runs after the guy, feeling like he is James Bond, sliding over a car, jumping fences, and then we lose him. Luckily, I can switch to Chop. The first try doesn't work. The second try doesn't work either, so I removed the other dog because Chop clearly can't focus with distractions. After some intense sniffing, Chop finally finds the trail again, and this time, he's locked in. I catch up to the guy and tase him. And for some reason, he's immune to electricity, but he is not immune to Chop. Then Lamar realizes he forgot his mask, so the guy instantly recognizes him.
Hey, Lamar Davis, is that you?
Man, he is the dumbest of the CGF gang. Lamar makes a phone call, somehow blows the whole thing up, and we just let the guy go. And just like that, the mission ends. So yeah, I committed assault, reckless driving, animal attacks, and probably a few war crimes. But somehow, in the mission Chop, not a single Grand Theft Auto was committed.
Not in my house.
Michael, go away!
I'm paying that turd $150 an hour to my wife in my own bed?
Michael, go away!
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. She said you had an arrangement.
As always, Amanda is cheating on Michael. And right away, Michael and Franklin leave the house in a borrowed truck. Borrowed, of course, meaning it doesn't belong to Michael. And it definitely doesn't belong to Franklin either. So yes, that does count. We chase Kyle to get our revenge back, until the chase ends at a large house. There, Michael wanted to destroy his whole house and cause a huge mess. After that, Michael and Franklin return to Michael's house. Shortly after, Martin Madrazo arrives. Well, let's just say we got the wrong house. Michael was just chilling at home, minding his business, snacking on Doritos, when Jimmy suddenly started being insanely loud. So Michael did the most reasonable thing possible and went upstairs and smashed his TV.
What the f?
After that, Jimmy said he wanted to show me something. And because I get excited way too fast and have zero patience for surprises, I immediately drove through the city like an absolute menace. Jimmy even comments on Michael's driving skills, which honestly feels deserved.
You're driving like a psychopath, Michael! Do you realize that?
At one point, I actually tried to punch Jimmy, but I missed. So instead of apologizing, I went for a tactical move and ran straight toward the bikes. At the beach, I grabbed a bike to rent. And before anyone says anything, the bike is automatically paid for. So this does not count as theft. Because Jimmy kept being slightly disrespectful, Michael's ego kicked in, and I drove as fast as humanly possible to the destination, giving Jimmy absolutely no chance. After I won the race, Jimmy turned out to be a terrible loser and immediately snitched on his sister.
Well, that's just because she's too busy getting by dudes to get on TV. It's all happening right out there.
So Michael instantly jumps into the water. Once I reach her and pick Tracy up, there's one big question left. How do we escape? The answer is a jet ski. Now wait, the jet ski very clearly belongs to someone else. However, under GTA law, a jet ski does not count as an auto, even though it's motorized. The key difference is that it operates on water, not on the street. And according to California law, a jet ski isn't classified as a car, but as a boat or a personal watercraft. So technically this would be Grand Theft Auto. Because we are only counting how many times we commit Grand Theft Auto, I decided not to count this one. Michael did a lot of things today, but somehow he didn't steal a car. What a nice man. Because of the Martin Madrazo situation, Michael suddenly needs money. So he goes to see his old friend Lester to figure out a way forward. Later, I discover that my car despawned. Just gone. That means I need another car. And yes, I could have walked 2 or 3 miles. But let's be honest, I'm not doing cardio just to avoid stealing a car. The game basically forces you to take a vehicle here. So yes, this does count as a Grand Theft Auto. After that, we change clothes, which leads to some really funny dialogue.
Excuse me. I'm thinking I need something, I don't know, geeky.
Lost your job and the world's moved on, huh?
If you wear the tropical shirt, the game immediately calls you out.
No! Way too predator.
And the shop clerk's comment alone makes this worth it. Then we head to the supposed job. So we drive with the stolen van to our new job. And honestly, if you just walk in with enough confidence, you can apparently get any job you want. That's where we meet Ricky Lukens, a true legend. We help him with a small virus problem, grab the device, and Ricky is so happy that he literally starts dancing. Right after that, a guy gets headshotted with a tennis ball.
Ow!
I then use the already stolen car to drive home. This time, the car didn't respawn, so that's nice. I don't count the car again, because it was already counted earlier. Then comes the final part. We wait for the guy to pull out his phone so we can blow his head up remotely. On my first try though, I didn't get any message or notification, so I watched the entire scene, only to get a fail screen. So I had to wait again. At this point, I'm getting really impatient, so I keep switching camera perspectives non-stop. But eventually, he finally pulls out his phone, and this time, everything works perfect.
Oh!
Stretch finally comes back home. We get a nice little cutscene, and Franklin immediately ignores him.
Oh, no, show some respect here.
Stretch drives his own car to the meetup, which technically means no theft here. Even though the man was in prison for years, he somehow owns a car. In the hood, taking cars is basically normal behavior, but surprisingly, Franklin doesn't steal it. We make a quick stop at Ammunition to stock up, because this already feels like it's going to go wrong. After buying the shotgun, Franklin has a pretty good instinct.
Why do I get the feeling it's gonna be one of them deals gone wrong type situation?
Arriving at the spot, I made sure to jump on Stretch. But this kind of failed completely, and I embarrassed myself. Then the guy was here again, from the mission shop. Yes, exactly that one we put in the van, like 4 missions earlier.
Man, you was just kidnapping this.
But after everyone kinda got a little angry, a shootout happened and we got in an ambush. Stretch, Lamar and Franklin were feeling like the 92nd American Division of World War II, cause they did a pretty good job of handling an ambush. After I failed the mission, I leaned forward so I can log in. I finally managed to complete this part of the mission. Afterwards, once we got out, my brain just turned off and couldn't find a way out. After a few attempts and about 3 minutes of searching, I finally found it. When I climbed up the wall, I saw the car we needed to get into. The person was already dead, but since the car wasn't ours, this counts as a Grand Theft Auto. After that, I escaped from the cops and brought everyone home. But at least, this mission increased our counter by 1. Next up is the mission The Good Husband. It's an optional mission, so I skipped it. The reason is that completing it would result in an unnecessary Grand Theft Auto. The goal is to count only the times where the game forces us to commit Grand Theft Auto. We are at 7 stolen vehicles, and you'll want to stay to see how much higher this number goes. We meet Lester again. He tells us to scout a jewel store that we are going to break into. Here we are driving Lester's car, so that doesn't count. We check out the jewelry store from the inside and from the roof and then drive back. After that, the game gives us 2 different approach options. The first option is the stealth approach. If we chose stealth, the counter would increase twice. The second option is the loud approach. In this case, we steal an LSPD tactical truck. I pull out the driver.
Sorry! Not really!
Well, Michael is not sorry, I guess. Here, the counter only increases once. Because of that, we choose the loud option. The counter is now at 8. So it's finally time for the heist. We drive there with the stolen truck, so that doesn't count again. I entered the jewel store with style, because this option is way cooler than the stealth one, and Michael even roasts the customer.
Please don't make me ruin all the great work your plastic surgeons have been doing.
On the floor, now!
The robbery itself is just a grand theft, so nothing special. When leaving the jewel store, it's unclear where the driver got their bikes from. Since they're all robbers, I assume they stole them. So when Franklin hops on and drives them, this counts as Grand Theft Auto. But then, nothing related to our mission happens. So let's get to the next mission. Trevor watches the news about the jewel store robbery on TV. The full scene can't be shown, but the important part is clear. After that, the mission continues and Trevor has to take down several bikers. Since no vehicles are stolen during this part, there is no Grand Theft Auto so far. And it seems like Trevor doesn't like the horn.
You forget how to use your horn? Have some respect for pedestrians!
Things get more interesting after the camp is cleared and we go to Ortega. There, Trevor pushes Ortega's trailer into the water. This raises the question, does this count as Grand Theft Auto? The trailer is not driven away and Trevor never takes possession of it. It is only destroyed. That means there is no Grand Theft Auto here, but it definitely counts as a Grand Destruction Auto. Trevor starts the mission by smashing a man's head. After that, I drive to the location using Trevor's car. Throughout the mission, a lot of cars were destroyed. However, no vehicles are stolen. The mission ends without any Grand Theft Auto. The counter does not increase. After starting the mission, Trevor gets angry because his statue has been destroyed. As a result, he goes on a revenge trip. Vehicles are provided for the squads, so I do not count them. I assume they belong to Trevor, which means there is no Grand Theft Auto here. After that, I buy a sniper and later arrive at the location. I then decided to troll Ron for a bit.
You wouldn't believe this, Ron. One of these assholes is having a seizure or something.
That's me! That's me! Don't shoot!
There's some shooting during this part. The mission then moves to the airstrip, where Trevor ends up on a plane with Ron inside. If this were considered a Grand Theft Auto, it would technically be Ron committing it, not one of the main characters. However, shortly after, Trevor jumps out and boards another plane. At this point, we need to look at the lore again. It is a Grand Theft, since something is taken, and its value exceeds $950. The remaining question is whether a plane counts as an auto under California law. Earlier, the jet ski did not count, even though it was motorized. So the question now is how this applies to aircraft. Before we are in the air, Trevor first drives the plane on the ground. At that moment, it qualifies as a Grand Theft Auto. The vehicle is motorized, has a value over $950, and is being used on official US ground. Only once the plane takes off would it be classified differently under the law. Up until takeoff, it is still considered a Grand Theft Auto. So yes, before flying, this does count. After that, nothing else happened that affects our challenge. Because no car is provided, I shoot down an NPC and took his car to drive to the farm. There is no way I am walking all that by foot. After arriving at the destination, there is another heavy shootout. Once that is cleared, I place a C4, walk away and detonate it. There was a problem, however. My previous car was gone because I failed the mission once. Well, I guess I am a noob. I will still take it as a forced action from Rockstar. And this counts as in Grand Theft Auto, so the counter goes up to 12. In the mission, Friends Reunited, we are just driving around, so we can skip this one.
Somebody say yoga?
The next mission is more interesting because Trevor meets Michael again after 10 years. After that, I drive to the destination using Michael's car, so there is no issue there. Once Trevor smashes the man's head and Laszlo runs away, I am forced to take the truck. At that moment, this counts as a Grand Theft Auto. The counter increases to 13. After that, I chase Laszlo. Later on, Trevor records an embarrassing video of him. That is where the mission ends, and at least the number goes up again. Here, Michael meets Davey.
Davey! How you doing?
For context, Davey is the man from the prologue with the sniper.
I'm gonna check around back. Ah!
Shortly after, Michael gets knocked out and wakes up in the morgue. After a brief shootout, I have to jump out of a window, which feels like a low-budget Assassin's Creed moment. Once we are outside, we got to choose between 2 cars to steal. Since escaping a 3-star wanted level on foot is not possible, the game forces me to take a car. Because of that, this counts as a Grand Theft Auto. At the start of the mission, Michael has to go see Davey. During the conversation, Michael roasts Agent Haynes pretty bad.
Steve Haynes, amigo, but you probably knew that already.
Sorry, your name tag must have fallen off.
Oh, duh.
After that, I have to get into Davey's car. This mission is forced, but for the first time, we actually have permission to use the vehicle. So this is the first time we are using someone else's car legally. Wow! Then I drive to the meeting point and fly to the agency headquarters. The helicopter is provided by Davey, apparently with his permission. Where he got it from is unclear, but since he is an FIB agent and we take off immediately, I count this as legal use. Unlike earlier in the mission Nervous Rond, we are not driving it along US ground. After that, Michael goes in with style and Franklin provides support. Several other crimes happen during this mission, including illegal entry, an interrogation, and taking down helicopters. However, there is no Grand Theft Auto here. The counter stays the same. The next mission is by the book. Yeah, you can probably imagine what happens in this one. And since I can't really show that on YouTube, we're just gonna quickly skip it. All we actually did in this mission was drive around in Davey's car, hunt down a target, and that's pretty much it. Next up is the Mission Hood Safari. We get a pretty cool scene with Trevor, Lamar, and Franklin. We're using Lamar's truck from the Chop mission, so no Grand Theft Auto here. Then we drive to the deal. But Trevor smells something funny instead.
Give me the back!
Then he drops his legendary line.
You can't hustle a hustler!
Then a shootout starts. The van gets destroyed and we're forced to escape on foot. Later we grab some jet skis to get away, but since it's on water, same logic as in the mission Daddy's Little Girl, that doesn't count as GTA, and the counter stays exactly where it is. This mission has some very interesting moments. So the first thing we do is yoga. After that, I get in my own car. So relax, no Grand Theft Auto here. Then Jimmy just me.
This is not normal. Also, I took money from your bank account.
Later, I wake up naked, confused, and questioning my life choices. Luckily, the house is right next door, so I just walk there. I'm not forced to take a car, so I'm keeping my hands clean, so no Grand Theft Auto. I get home, and the family's gone, and that's the mission. I drive there with Trevor's car, so everything's legal. Shocking, I know. Now about the handler, we're told to get into. We're instructed to take it, so on paper it's not illegal. But we're trespassing. The guy doesn't know. And if you put this in front of a judge, yeah, that's a Grand Theft Auto. Next, I'm driving a crane, but it's not an actively moving vehicle, so no GTA here. I take some very artistic photos, come back down, then I take the big rig. And yeah, no debate here. A truck absolutely counts. Counter goes up to 16. After arriving at the yellow circle, Trevor suddenly turns into an amigo.
No understand you, huh? Manifesto. Manifesto say deliver here.
But Floyd didn't understand the assignment and paid the full price for it. After getting the documents, I must take a car, otherwise I need to walk 2 miles on foot, which is not happening. So I was forced to steal a car and the counter goes up by 17 and yeah, this mission has 3 Grand Theft Autos. Next up, the mission submarine. The preparation mission before the heist. I drive to the port and release the submarine. Then I get inside the submarine. Now, important legal detail. This is not a Grand Theft Auto, because it's a submarine. So this is just Grand Theft, not GTA. Moving on. The crane pulls the submarine out. After that, we've got a truck that Floyd brought with him. And since Floyd is literally using it for his job, no Grand Theft Auto there. But the second Trevor gets in, turns the engine on and starts using it like it's his own. Yeah, that's a Grand Theft Auto. So for this one, I chose the freighter approach because with this method I don't need to do any extra preparation missions. And honestly, it's just way cooler than the offshore method. We get a pretty cool cutscene and then Trevor pulls up in his own car, so everything's fine there. Surprisingly, there is no Grand Theft Auto happening here. The heist itself is actually really intense. A lot is going on, but when it comes to our challenge, there's no Grand Theft Auto happening here. Then we get a cool ending scene, and Lester is almost naked. The mission ends and the counter stays the same. In this mission we meet Lester. He tells us to shoot down a guy, so we do exactly that, and that's basically the whole mission. Then we've got boiler suits and masks. Technically 2 separate missions. But this time, I just go to the store and buy the equipment. Everything is done legally. No vehicles taken, no crime committed, no police involved. For once, I pay for something like a normal person. So there's no Grand Theft Auto here. Just a normal US citizen buying stuff. With the sales taxes on top. The counter stays the same. Next mission, and yeah, we're stealing again. The objective literally tells me, steal the garbage truck. So I pull out the driver and take the truck for myself. Of course, that immediately gives me a wanted level, so I have to lose the cops first before I can continue. After that, I drive the garbage truck to the marked position and park it where it needs to be for the heist setup. And since I clearly took the vehicle without permission, this is a Grand Theft Auto. Then we have the mission tow truck, same as before. The mission literally tells me to steal the tow truck. So what did I do? I steal the tow truck and deliver it. That's clearly Grand Theft Auto. After that, I have to leave the area, and escaping on foot isn't realistic, so I take one. That's forced again. Counter goes up to 21. And we move to the next mission. We use the trash truck again, but since it was already counted before, I don't count it again. Then we tip over the money transporter. Now let's check the GTA law. Tipping over a car is destruction, not theft. We never take possession of the transporter or the other vehicle. So legally, this is not Grand Theft Auto, so the counter stays the same. We take out a bunch of police, like a lot of police. And later, we just destroy the truck again. A lot of destruction and violence and not a single theft. After completing the main part of the mission, Michael drives to Devin Weston to tell him the job was successful. But Devin made sure that Michael stays his dog so he can use him furthermore.
I will make the connect just as soon as you...
If you've watched until this point, I just want to remind you friendly. Subscribing is completely free, and if you already have access to the new hype feature, feel absolutely free to hype this video up. But now, let's focus on the mission. Here I got into the car, completely legal since it's provided with permission. Then Franklin provoked 2 guys at the gas station, and then they raced for a bit. And thank God, Michael and Trevor are acting as the law and want to put an end to it. The motorcycles are probably provided by Devin Weston, but since they are police motorcycles, Michael and Trevor have no permission to drive them. So the moment both characters ride them, it counts as Grand Theft Auto. Counter goes up by 2. After a quick little chase, the cars pull over and the police in law act accordingly and pulls them out. Since it's Michael and Trevor and they are taking 2 cars without permission again, this is another double GTA right there. Counter jumps from 23 to 25. Then I just drove to Devin Weston, which later scammed all the characters. But this single mission had 4 Grand Theft Autos, and it's so far the record. In the next mission, things get a little spicy. We scan with the detector on Franklin and... oh, seems like our boy has been a little freaky lately.
What's the deal, Franklin?
First thing I gotta do is find a specific guy. So I track him down. So when we finally found him, I had to stalk him. And there it is, the legendary Z-type. So we chase him, and Franklin is right behind. We end up in a parking garage. Franklin steps out and raises the pistol. I actually thought about shooting him, but you can literally see me hesitate. But I decided to keep him alive. Doesn't change the fact that this right here is a textbook Grand Theft Auto. The Z-type is of course way over $950. Counter goes up to 26. I drive away like nothing happened. And because I was nice enough to not shoot him, he calls the cops on me. Respectable behavior. Mission's basically done after that, so we drive to the airport. Michael and Solomon Richards are spiritually connecting. And after that, Solomon gave Michael a mission because no car spawned for me and I had to go to East Los Santos, which is almost 2 miles away. So I grabbed a car, cause no way I'm walking. Counter goes up to 27. After arriving, I played some Assassin's Creed and sneaked up to the place I needed to go. After a fair fistfight with the guy, I stole a helicopter, and since it's in the air, I would call it Grand Theft Air. Okay guys, I am just trying to be creative. In the air, I convinced them peacefully.
When you see Solomon, you say, "Sorry for the misunderstanding, sir."
Then I landed the helicopter and the mission ends. This is the mission where Trevor meets Patricia for the first time. After that, I first tried to get into Trevor's car as Michael. My thinking was, technically it's Trevor's car, so if I'm Michael, maybe I have permission. But the game said no, I couldn't get in. And Trevor immediately insulted me.
You're a waste of space on this earth.
So that plan didn't work. I had to take another car and ended up using Martin Madrazo's car. Now here's the legal twist. I'm technically acting on his behalf at that moment, doing business for him. So I'm counting this as approved usage. No Grand Theft Auto here. Eventually, I reached the van. For a second, I thought, am I stealing the car? But Michael only sits inside. He doesn't start the engine. And remember the rule from the beginning. You have to move the vehicle, even 1 inch. If it doesn't move, it's not GTA, so no count. Then I get switched to Trevor. Earlier, he drove off in his own car. Now he's suddenly on a motorcycle. And I'm pretty sure he didn't buy it in the last 5 minutes. So that's Grand Theft Auto. I chase the plane, then fall off. I know. Very professional gameplay. Eventually I grabbed the suitcase. Now back at Michael. I now have to move the van to leave the area. So I got out and thought maybe this doesn't count. But then I had to get back to the van and I had to move it. Since it's Madrazo's van, and just like at the beginning when I took the car, I think I have his approval and everything is fine. So I drove away, but suddenly I had to destroy the van, so I did that and watched like Lucius. Then we get the legendary cutscene.
And he kind of got a little angry, so I admit, I kind of got a little angry.
The car Trevor has brought was Madrazo's car. I also bet he didn't get permission to drive his, since he literally kidnapped his wife. And since Trevor is also one of the main characters, the counter goes up again. So in this mission, we have to steal a car from a movie set. So first we have to take down an actor. After that, I head out to the movie set. I walk up, get into the car first, and then I drive off. Now this right here, that's a textbook Grand Theft Auto. Counter goes up to 31. At the end, I casually throw them out of the car. Then I bring the car to Devin Weston, and Devin basically says,
"You know what the irony is? I'm a major shareholder in that same studio, so what you just did is practically legal." Ha! Practically.
And honestly, if Devin Weston says it's fine, that's good enough for me. So we're adjusting the books. Counter goes from 31 back down to 30. We start with a really cool cutscene. Then I drive to Trevor's airfield using his own car. The same airfield we took from the O'Neill brothers earlier, which means the plane we're about to fly technically belongs to Trevor. Everything is fine so far, no Grand Theft Auto yet. One of the sickest moments in the mission, flying straight into the back of another plane mid-air. After that, I try to take control of the plane. Before climbing up, I destroy the car down there. Why? Because it doesn't count as GTA anyway. And I had a plan. I move up to the pilot. Plane fully taken over. Then the jets show up. Now, here's the important part. The game usually keeps a car there, so you can escape easily. But since I destroyed it earlier on purpose, I forced myself to run instead of stealing it. And the mission is done. We get the job from Davey and Steve Haynes. After that, we get into Michael's car, which means everything is completely legal. And from that point on, we're just driving around in Michael's own vehicle the whole mission. So no Grand Theft Auto here. Counter stays exactly where it is. Trevor explains to Michael that he was the one who called him, and Michael is not being a really good friend here. Then Patricia slaps Trevor.
Gasolina? No.
After they both had a quick argument, Patricia says,
Don't stay out too late.
After that, I get into Trevor's car. Then we switch to Franklin, and suddenly he's already sitting in a completely different car. Now, here's the thing. We have no idea where that car came from. I definitely didn't buy it. So let's be honest, he probably stole it, which means this one actually counts. Counter goes from 30 to 31, for real this time. After chasing them for a bit, they almost hit a deer. Then we switch back to Trevor, and I died in a really dumb way. So I quickly repeat the mission and steal a helicopter, but since it's in the air, that does not count as Grand Theft Auto, and after that, the mission is basically done. The only objective here is to steal the military convoy. So I pull up and just take the convoy for myself. I drive it to the drop-off point. Nice and simple. This is a textbook Grand Theft Auto. Counter goes up to 32. So let's get to the next mission. Next mission. First we go over the heist plan, but Franklin completely crashes out because Michael and Trevor are yelling at each other like a divorced couple.
Hello, Franklin.
What's up?
Now here's the first question. There's a van, and honestly, I have no idea where it came from. It just feels like it was there. Nothing really gets explained, but it looks prepared. And later, they don't even escape with it. So I'm assuming Lester handled that legally. No Grand Theft Auto here. Then the heist happens, we come out fully armed, and suddenly, Franklin pulls up in a bulldozer. But instead of defending Trevor and Michael, Franklin pulled up to his home to finally defend it. Eventually, he got tired and drove back to the mission and finally was ready to do his job on the heist. Guys, this was just a joke. Alright, this did not happen in the mission. Now let's be real. He did not buy that thing. So that's surely a Grand Theft Auto. Then I climb onto the bulldozer and later jump onto the train. But at the very end, you can see Trevor getting into some random vehicle. I've never seen that vehicle before. And since I have never seen that vehicle before, I'm pretty sure this is also a Grand Theft Auto. So I'm counting that too. Counter goes from 33 to 34. There is a funny cutscene at the beginning. After that, a car and a motorcycle are provided. I'm not counting those this time. We don't know where they came from. I'm assuming Ron organized everything, so no Grand Theft Auto there. Then I jump onto the train, move all the way to the front, knock out the driver, and now I'm driving the train myself. So here's the big legal question. Is this Grand Theft Auto? It is definitely theft. I take control of a vehicle that does not belong to me. It's a train, so it qualifies as Grand Theft. But does that increase our counter? Under California law, Grand Theft Auto applies to motor vehicles designed for use on highways. A train is not classified as a motor vehicle. It runs on rails. Therefore, that doesn't classify as Grand Theft Auto. Counter stays exactly where it is. Then Michael is in the boat, and just like before on water, this is not Grand Theft Auto, more like Grand Theft Boat. Then this shit happened. I guess Trevor is feeling himself too much. And after a bit of action and stealing something important, I arrived at the beach. And after Michael gaslights Trevor so he can keep paying Madrazo, I get into the getaway vehicles. And about the getaway vehicles, there is no really a law, because look at the dialogue that happened before we arrived.
Transport's taken care of. Ron's dependable, you see.
They are pre-positioned and Ron put them here again, just like those cars in the beginning. Because of that, no Grand Theft Auto here and the counter stays the same. First we start by driving the boat. Then we head down below and break something open. After that, the main part of the mission happens. Fun fact, this cargo bob was actually bought legally with the Paleto base score money. So for once, it's 100% legal. No stealing involved. Then Agent Haynes shoots himself in the leg. And we romantically fly away into the sun. Overall, it's a really funny mission, but still no Grand Theft Auto. Next mission, Hang 10. Honestly, the opening scene is just hilarious. Then we get some very bloody windows. After that, you basically just take over the vanilla unicorn. And since I really don't want my video to suddenly switch from a green sign to a yellow sign, we're just going to skip this mission. Next mission, bury the hatchet. Trevor is very suspicious right from the start. There's a tense discussion. Then Trevor steals Michael's car.
It's my car, you prick!
But since it's Michael's own car and not some random civilian's vehicle, I'm not counting this as Grand Theft Auto. After that, I actually had to steal another vehicle. No way around it. I was forced to take out an NPC and grab the car. Counter goes up to 35. Then I arrive at the airport and fly to North Yankton. Once there, Michael instantly shows up in a car. And let's be honest, I highly doubt he leased or legally bought something in North Yankton. And he probably just stole that car. And then nothing really GTA related happens in this mission. Here's a hilarious moment when the mission begins. Then we had to save Michael. After that, I grab Franklin's car. We shoot our way out, push forward and go save Michael. Then comes the escape and of course, I have to take another car. Even though Michael was kidnapped and forced into the situation, it still fits the definition. In court, a judge might call it justified under necessity because he was literally saving his own life. But for this series, we're counting it. We start by entering into Michael's own car, heading to the FIB building. In this mission, we have to follow a janitor to his home. We arrive at the location and then we wait. Eventually, the janitor comes out. We follow him, enter into his home and lie straight to his face. After that, we take his uniform. And then we just drive back. Honestly, a pretty relaxed mission. This isn't even Grand Theft Auto, it's probably not even Grand Theft. At best, petty theft. And that might actually be a first since the beginning. Next mission, the Bureau raid. After scouting out the Bureau for a while, I decided to go with the roof entry. And the reason is simple. If I had chosen the fire crew approach, I would have needed to steal a fire truck. And that would 100% push the counter up. So we're avoiding that. This time, I also picked the cheap crew option because why not? Then the heist begins. We drive in using Michael's own car, then switch to a helicopter. And after that, a lot of shooting. Now the driver shows up really late. But there's a very good reason why I picked him. Eventually, he arrives in a cheap van, and since the driver somehow organized this vehicle beforehand, we're good. This does not count as Grand Theft Auto, because I assume Karim Dent, who is a big noob by the way, probably bought this thing somewhere, so it's legally drivable. But if I had picked an expensive crew member like Taliana Martinez, she would arrive with an ambulance, and there is no way she bought that legally. And the moment Michael gets in and drives away, that would be a Grand Theft Auto. But the goal here isn't to see how many cars we can steal. It's to see how many times we have to. So once again, a full heist completed and the counter did not go up. Next mission, the wrap-up. And it starts with a really cool cutscene. FIB on one side, IAA on the other. Special agents everywhere. After that, it turns into one big shootout. And then, we have to escape with Trevor to Morningwood. And conveniently, there are cars perfectly placed right there. Now, I'm assuming those vehicles belong to our enemies from earlier. But here's the problem. We definitely do not have permission to use them. So legally speaking, the moment Michael gets in and drives off, that's Grand Theft Auto. Counter goes up to 38. Next mission, reuniting the family. This one is pretty simple. We're basically just playing taxi driver. I drive around the city, pick up Amanda, then pick up Tracy. Michael has a small midlife crisis in between. Amanda even starts listing all the guys she cheated on him with.
Dr. Friedlander, or my yoga teacher, or our tennis coach, or the juice guy, or the dog walker.
After that, they all head back home, and that's pretty much it. Next mission, legal trouble. We start with a short cutscene, then Molly drives off, and we have to follow her. And of course, I need a car. There's no way around it. So I just grab one from the parking area. Counter goes up to 39. After that, it's just one long chase. Then Molly's gone, and the mission ends. This one is a short mission. We just help Lamar and save his stupid ass. And then we shoot at some bad guys. And that's basically the whole mission. Next mission, Meltdown. For the first time ever, we actually get driven around in a limousine. Feels kind of nice not being the one committing crimes for once. But that peace doesn't last long. When it's time to save the family, I suddenly have 2 minutes on the clock. So I need something fast, which means I take a random car. Counter goes up to 40. After that, I clear out the house. Jimmy punches one of the guards. And then, he even teabags Michael.
Oh! Get up off me!
here we really need to look at the options again, because this is where it gets problematic. Shortly said, the subtle approach will give us 3 GTAs, so let's ignore that option and jump straight to the obvious approach. But here, we don't even drive the driller itself. We are driving a truck which transports the driller, so this one is pretty clear. So, the counter goes up to 41. And this again shows the difference. The obvious approach setup was just 1 Grand Theft Auto, while the subtle approach would have been 4. Then comes the obvious approach itself. I get into the car, which is Michael's at this point, so everything is fine. I pick up the gunman. This time I picked Chef. Then Franklin uses the driller, and here it is, a Grand Theft Auto. At first we only transported the driller on a truck, but now we are actually using the driller itself, which is a different vehicle, and counter goes up to 42. And yes, a driller counts as an auto under our GTA law. Then there is a lot of shooting, like a lot of shooting again. The gold bricks then gets attached to the helicopters, and I need to escape from the place, so again, a lot of shootouts. And after some minutes, I need to get into another car. I'm assuming this car was specifically prepared for the heist. It's really unclear how to count this one, to be honest, but I decided not to count it, since it could have been bought by someone from the crew. After I lose the cops with the best tactic on earth, meaning just going down the tunnel, I switch over to Trevor. Here the helicopters are already in the air, so that's fine, and I help Lester shoot down the helicopters. Some minutes later, I drop off the gold and the heist was done. So in the obvious approach, there was only 2 times where the counter did go up. Well, we have 3 options here. On my last GTA 5 video, I picked option B, where I let Michael go. No way could I pick something like that again, or even kill Trevor in option A. Instead, this time, I needed to pick option C, because this is the canon event according to Rockstar. And if you picked option C as well, feel absolutely free to subscribe. Because that's the ending the real OGs choose. Well, looking at option C, there is just a lot of shooting, like I mean a lot. Almost 20 minutes. Then everyone just gets into their vehicles. Trevor in his car, Michael in his car, and Franklin on his motorcycle. Then I eliminated everyone. And Devin Weston surrounded himself with Merryweather guards. And when I finally found Devin Weston, I punched him. Bro really thought he is Saddam Hussein. Then I used his car, which is a Grand Theft Auto again. So the counter goes up to 43 because I am driving it. After that, all 3 characters pushed Devin Weston to the ground. I had to commit Grand Theft Auto 43 times across 54 missions. That means nearly 80% of the game forces you to steal a vehicle. I really hope you enjoyed the video. And with that counter, I think GTA lives up to its name.